At the far edge of Pinnacle Heights International School, tucked behind the old fence and beneath the unforgiving sun, a man sat quietly in a wooden chair by the school gate. His name was Mr. Okoye, but everyone called him Baba Gateman. His job was simple: open the gate when students arrived, close it after hours, and make sure no strangers wandered in without notice. He lived in the boys' quarters behind the small security post, a tiny cement room infested with cockroaches and rats with a leaking roof, no light, and cracked walls that baked under the midday sun. He shared that room with his only son, Chibuzer. Chibuzer wasn't like the other students because of his poor background. He wore second-hand uniforms 2 sizes too big. His school shoes, passed down from a cousin, had torn with holes in the soles, while other kids brought lunch boxes filled with sandwiches and juice. Chibuzer drank from the outdoor tap and ate from roasted groundnuts stuffed in his pocket. Every morning, he slipped quietly through the back gate with his books under his armpits, walking quickly and keeping his head down with eyes low. He didn't want to hear it again, the whispers, the mockery. "Look, it's the gateman's son. Better learn to open gates like your father. You're not one of us, and you can never be houseboy." Some teachers were kind, but many treated him badly and overlooked him. A few even asked him to run errands during class hours, as if he was just part of the staff. Once, during assembly, a student shoved him out of the line and said, "Why are you even standing here? This place isn't for people like you." He was embarrassed and very sad, but Chibuzer didn't respond. He never did. He went home that day and cried quietly into his father's wrapper, hiding his face like he had done so many times before. But Papa Okoye would always say, "My son, let them look down on us. As long as you keep looking up, you'll rise above." At night, while the school building stood silent, Chibuzer studied hard. He sat under the flickering streetlight near the school fence, holding borrowed textbooks from the school library tight as mosquitoes buzzed around him. He couldn't afford private tutors, but he had hunger, not just for food, but for knowledge. And that hunger bore fruit. He topped his class. He won a state scholarship. He graduated with distinction. From there, his journey took him to Unilag, where he pursued to obtain a medical degree. And in his final year, because of his brilliance and best student in his set, he earned a rare opportunity, a scholarship to study in one of the best universities in Britain as an orthopedic surgeon. When he boarded the plane, he thought of his father and promised that he will make him proud whatever it takes. In a few years, he was able to specialize top class and worked in a reputable hospital in the United Kingdom when he learned about the 20th anniversary of the Founders' Day of his secondary school, Pinnacle Heights International, and he decided to support the school with something remarkable, and that will be of use to the school. ABA 2008. Pinnacle Heights International School was preparing for its grandest event in years, the 20th anniversary Founders' Day. Decorations lined the halls. Banners fluttered in the breeze. Alumni from across the country had been invited. The biggest surprise? A major donor had anonymously built a massive, well-equipped medical center in the school premises for both students and workers. The invitation card simply read, "Guest of Honor, Distinguished Alumnus, the Medical Director/CEO Barnet Hospital. Name withheld until event." Curiosity buzzed through the crowd. Who could it be? That morning, as students gathered in the assembly hall, a sleek black SUV rolled quietly up to the same gate that once creaked on rusty hinges. The gate, now freshly painted and reinforced, was opened by a young guard who stood at attention. Out stepped a tall, composed man in a tailored suit, black, with silver cufflinks. His shoes gleamed. His bearing was calm, but his eyes, His eyes scanned the old school like he was remembering every stone, every scar. With him is a fairly old man neatly dressed in Nigerian native dress, with bead on his neck, his father Papa Okoye. The crowd murmured, then gasped. It was Chibuzo Okoye. One of the teachers blinked in disbelief. A few old students, now parents themselves, stared in stunned silence. Some looked away in shame. Others whispered his name with awe. He walked steadily to the podium, took the mic, and waited until the murmur quieted. Then he spoke. 23 years ago, I stood at this gate not as a student, but as the gateman's son. I opened it because my father worked here. Today, I open it again, but not with keys, with purpose. The entire hall froze. As he looked around, he saw Kelechi, his bully, now working as a janitor in the school. He smiled, shook his head, and continued. This school gave me pain, but it also gave me the books I needed, the library that didn't reject me, the empty halls where I dreamed bigger than my uniform. So today, I give back not because I forgot the pain, but because I found potential in it. He commissioned the medical center and unveiled the name. It was after his father, Okoye Medical Center, the gatekeeper who kept my dreams alive. There were tears, but he wasn't done. He announced 20 full-ride scholarships for children of non-teaching staff, a renovated security post with fan, fridge, and internet for the current gatekeepers, a welfare fund for widows of former staff who were often forgotten. As cameras flashed, Chibuzo stepped aside and called someone forward. It was Papa Okoye, now gray-haired and slow in movement, but standing proud in his neatly pressed native attire. Chibuzo held the mic one last time. The world judged my father by his uniform, but I judged him by his heart. He opened the gate to education with rusty keys. I'll open it for others with giving back, opportunity, and dignity. The principal, with trembling hands, came forward and knelt, not just in gratitude, but in regret. The entire school rose in applause. Some students rushed forward to shake his hand. Others simply stared wide-eyed, for the boy once mocked gatekeeper's son had become the man who unlocked doors for a generation. Because sometimes what the world discards, God redeems. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.